This is Ben with cholingeric.net, and in this video I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sweat therapy. And sweat therapy is one of those methods that a lot of people use to try to keep their hives under control. And it's not for everyone, I'll say that first. And the reason it's not for everyone is because some people have a really severe case of hives, and when they try to do sweat therapy, which is what I did when I had a really severe case, then what can happen is you just keep putting yourself through unnecessary torture. You keep trying to work out, but you're breaking out in hives, you're itching, it's horrible. You try it day after day, and it just never really happens. And there's also some people who, can't exercise for various reasons, and also some people just are not going to be able to do it because they have other types of hives on top of that. They may have cold urticaria, they may have, asthma, they may have some other condition where it's just really not practical for them to exercise. But having said that, it does help a lot of people, and a lot of people use this as a technique to just kind of keep their symptoms at bay. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can use a portable sauna or a steam capsule, and that's one way that you can kind of make the sweat come out passively. That's where you're just going to sit there and let your body become really hot, and hopefully that gets the sweat out. That's one method. And the other method is exercise. And I'm going to talk about both of those in this video. As far as how this works really is that, with most people with this hives disorder, once you can get the sweat out of your body, a lot of times you can actually just go right into sweating for the rest of the day, or maybe even for a few days. And if you repeat this regularly and you kind of keep your body in a mode of trying to sweat, then that initial reaction you'll have when your body first tries to sweat will be a lot less severe, or you may not even have it at all. For most people, it seems that they have to do it daily, and they have to, what they'll do is they'll wake up, they'll get in their little sauna, or they'll wake up and do a really rigorous workout. They'll do it and they'll feel this intense hives and everything, but they'll break through and eventually sweat, and then they're kind of good for the day. And the reason that happens again is that once the sweat breaks through, it just seems to help. And also some articles have suggested that there's a refractory period, that once your body kind of releases a widespread amount of histamine, it takes a while for your body to build those histamine stores back up. So that's kind of the mechanism behind how it works. Now, if you have a steam capsule, you can buy these. It sounds expensive. You can actually buy them for like $100 to $300 on Amazon.com and some other websites online. I'm going to have a page on my website so you can see the type I'm talking about. And I'm going to have, I think, a tab called maybe some like recommended products or something. And it's going to be all the products I ever mentioned about hives that could potentially help you manage it. And it's products that I personally recommend, or other people on the website have highly recommended that I trust. So I'm going to put that link on my website, and if you go through there, you'll see which one it is. And if you do buy it through my website, it'll cost you the same amount. It's not going to cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission sometimes, and that helps support the site and everything, and I appreciate that. But with the little steam capsule, you get the little steam capsule or infrared sauna. It's a little portable sauna, and you just set it up in your room. And what you would do is you would get in it daily, turn it on, and you would let it heat your body to the point where you start getting itchy, and then you just try to suffer through it. And the idea is that you eventually sweat. Once you're done with that, you can ideally go throughout the rest of the day and you're good. You may have to do it daily or maybe weekly or something. It may depend on the severity of your hives. Again, if you have a really severe case of hives, you probably don't want to try this. Another thing I should probably mention right now is that before you begin the little sauna treatment or begin exercise therapy, you always want to talk to a doctor first to make sure it's okay in your case. And you always want to have an EpiPen standing by for those of you who have very severe reactions, or if you're not sure if you may have a severe reaction or not, it could help stop an anaphylactic shock if you ever have that. And the third thing is, if you ever are going to exercise and try that to push through the hives, you want to have someone at home with you just in case you faint or don't feel well or something like that. Okay, so that's how you would use the sauna. You just get in it every day, try to break through the sweat. It can be really tough. And, that's the hardest part of the sweat therapy thing, is the first few times. If you're not used to it, you're going to have a really bad hives attack. And the idea is that if you can kind of keep pushing through, get your body used to sweating, it's going to be good. Now with exercise, there's a couple different ways you can approach that. You can use just the basic method, which is where you get on, like I would probably recommend you use like a cardiovascular method, because that's going to get your heart pumping and get your body really warmed up quickly. And that's going to be something like using an elliptical, using a exercise stationary bike, using something like that, or you could run or jog or something like that too if that's what you're into. But the idea is you're going to get up and you're going to try to exercise, and when you feel the hives come on, you're just going to try to, put it out of your mind as much as possible and really just keep working until you can get that sweat out. And if you can't get the sweat out, you're just going to keep trying to repeat it for, a few days and see if you can just get the sweat to break through. And if you can do that, maybe you can kind of maintain it. It's not an ideal way to manage your hives, but for some people that don't want to do the diet or they don't want to try medications, this is sometimes enough to just help them get through life. Now, another method you can try, which is the method I used when I first kind of broke through when I was just starting my food allergy elimination diet and everything, is what I call the stop-go method. And what I would do when I first started this was I would get on a stationary bike and I would go until usually it would only take about 5 minutes for me to get hot enough to start to get really itchy. And I would get to the point where I just really couldn't take it anymore, and then I would stop. And then the second that my hives kind of died down, and sometimes I just have to sit on the bike for a couple minutes or something like that. And the second my hives would kind of just get to the point where they were starting to taper off, I would start the exercise back again. I could go a couple minutes and then my hives would come back, I would stop. And I kept doing that, and eventually I actually broke through and started sweating. Now, once I did that, when I continued refining my diet and cutting out foods that were causing me all kinds of symptoms, then eventually I don't have to use the sweat therapy at all. I can actually just by diet alone, I can eliminate my cholinergic urticaria symptoms. But exercise is still good. And another benefit of exercise is that it's going to reduce inflammation overall in your body, because exercise in general is good at reducing inflammation. It'll help increase your blood flow and just get you in a healthier state of mind. So that's the ways that you can do exercise therapy, or you can do a sauna. Both of those things, you're just kind of going to sit there and try to let the heat come out, and the other one, you're going to actively work and try to get the heat out. I think probably the exercise thing works best for some people, but I have read at least 2 or 3 people. I think someone has a video on YouTube about the sauna thing as well, but I've heard several people say that this helps them. So I hope that helps you. That's an idea of what takes place when people are talking about sweat therapy or exercise therapy on the website. That's what they're doing in general. And it's not easy. It's not for everyone. You want to take all the proper precautions, but that's how it's done. So if it does help you, I hope it helps. And I'm going to talk some more about exercising and diet and so forth in some coming videos. So make sure to stay tuned. Thank you.